Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of our preview series, looking ahead to the next Arsenal fixture. Arsenal playing against Southampton, of course, on Sunday at St Mary's. However, a slightly later start to the show. I meant to do it at 6 o'clock, but we're moving it ahead to 6:15 because there's been some pretty crazy stuff happening in the last hour, specifically about Gabriel, who has signed a brand new contract extension for another 2 years, taking him from 2025 through to 2027. Some really fantastic news on that end. I'm very happy, though, to be talking about that and, of course, looking ahead to the game on Sunday with three fantastic guests. First of all, it's Chris. How you doing, mate? You good, Joel?
Really well, mate. Really happy. Good time to be a Gooner, isn't it?
Very happy indeed. Oh, and one thing I've forgotten as well, which I was discussing with Chris before we went live, is we've got a brand new microphone, which is what you can see here. I'm hoping that it's sounding good. I haven't been able to, I literally got it about an hour ago, so I've not really been able to play with the settings, and I've only just been able to set it up quickly. So I'm hoping it's sounding okay. One of the main things that was going on was that people were saying that I need to get a compressor, which kind of is something that kind of mediates the noise level so that when I say something loudly, it kind of levels it out a bit. So I'm hoping that it's going to be doing that. We still need to have a play with it and sort it out properly, but I'm hoping it sounds okay. Chris is just laughing at me making excuses for a microphone, but yeah. Anyway, let's bring in our next guest. It's Dan. How you doing, mate? You good, Joel?
I'm very well, thank you. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. That was such a calm entrance. Yeah, I'm very good. How are you? Yeah, I'm
very
fine.
Well, very well.
Very
Before
calm.
the excitement kicks in, yeah?
Lovely stuff. And making up our quartet for this evening, it's been a while, but it's very, very good to have him back on the show. It's French. How you doing, mate? Back in the library, I see.
Yeah. Been doing some reading. Really good to be back, man. Really good to be back. You're sounding crisp, by the way, Tom. That mic
Thanks,
is
mate.
Top notch, very compressed.
Compressed, yeah. It's here we go. We've signed the compressor. The Gabriel compressor has signed. We can confirm. Lovely
I was
stuff.
saying to you in the messages, man, like we've been podding for a little while, like whilst we were struggling, and I just had to come back now that things are good, things are really, man.
Yeah, I love this. It's just a freeloader, is what it is. He's just waiting for Arsenal to be top of the league, and then he comes back all like, "Oh, I've been studying for a master's" as a bit of an excuse. Yeah, no, I don't buy it.
I was with you during the Emery years, man. Come on, put in.
You was, mate. No, absolutely, fair play to you. And whilst I've got you, a massive congratulations on finishing your masters as well. I'm sure that all the TGT family is wishing you well, and I'm sure you haven't got the results back for that yet. They'll come later, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing like an examination about the masters, and then I get it back. But I'm feeling good about it. Congratulations are in order. I'd say I got it.
I love that. Yeah, smashed it, mate. Smashed it. Well, best of luck with the results. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. Let's talk about Gabriel first of all. Obviously, massive news today dropping. Re-signed his contract, renewed it through to 2027. Chris, give me your initial thoughts, mate.
Oh man, how this club has changed. Right, we've gone from this clubs, with these rotten contracts and these rotten players. We've now got structure, we've got purpose, we know who we want. We sign them up for long-term contracts. Yeah, look, I'm just super happy, right? I think it's right for us. And I know, I know a lot of people are giving him a lot of stick because he's the one making mistakes or making one mistake a game or whatever. Right? Personally, I think the way he plays is great. I think he's good for our team. I think he's part of the process. And, again, I'm slightly controversial. Look, KSE, they came in 4 years ago and they said they were going to start to do these things. They said they were going to clean out and they said they were going to do things properly. We look like a well-run, efficient club. So I'm super happy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is the key thing for me, Dan, is like these 2-year cycles that we're seeing. Like Tierney signed 2019, renewed in 2021. Martinelli signed in 2019, re-signed in 2021. Saka renewed, I think, 2 years after signing his professional contract. There's one more as well that skips my mind. But now we're seeing Gabriel 2 years after he signed in 2020. Signing a new contract in 2022. There's a clear strategy and structure behind these decisions, and it's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, trust me, it's nice to finally see us doing business early, making sure that there's intent behind the business as well. Like the players are playing well, rewarding them, and it's showing on the pitch, isn't it? Like the players are feeling appreciated, they're feeling loved. The fans are behind them. They're getting these contracts based on their merit, not just because they're Arsenal players who need to be kept. It's nice to see that they're earning them, and it's nice to see what they're doing to get the fans behind them as well. And he deserves it, to be fair.
Yeah, no, massively so. Craig, thank you so much for the donation in the chat box. Hope you guys are well. He says, huge for Big Gabby. This is just one of the many, hopefully, that he gets. I've renewed my TGT contract as well. Good to see, Craig, indeed. Lovely stuff. And French, really good news, obviously, on Gabriel. There is this feeling, though, that there's others that are in the pipeline. Martinelli, Saka, Saliba. Do you think if you're a young player like that and you see kind of a player of Gabriel's stature in the team, he is one, even though he's 24, he is still one of the more experienced members of the group now. Do you think that kind of gives them a bit of a, the people are really buying into this project now, and maybe it convinces them to sign on as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, if you look at the length of the contract, it really shows the kind of belief that Gabriel has in what we're doing here. I mean, the reports are it's up to 2027. Which is amazing. 5 more years of Gabriel, so that'd be like we have until he's at least 29. We're talking about his prime years there that he's committed to us. So yeah, I think it's really fantastic for what it means for the club and for the other players. I mean, there's a lot of talk of Saliba maybe being the next one. I think his agent was down at the Emirates possibly, and he's been doing a few interviews and whatnot. So the rumor, that's the kind of next one maybe that might be announced. Who knows? But it's definitely huge. And I think the other thing that's really nice about it as well is that he's been coming under a bit of criticism recently because he got the shiny new Saliba next to him. And obviously, as fans, we're always looking for like the weak point on the team, right? So now we've got so many good players, and good. Obviously, last season it was obviously Lacazette, and we've upgraded in that striker role. And we're thinking maybe midfield, but Gabriel has been, I think, unfairly been coming under quite a bit of criticism for he makes some errors at times, but obviously young centre back, I don't know many who don't. And I think he recovers always really well from them. You think of was it the handball that he gave away? Then he did a step over for our next goal against Liverpool.
He gave away I'm
thinking of the Liverpool game where he let Nunes get in behind him, and he came back to do the step over for the Saka goal just a few minutes after, and you're thinking, this guy, he's got the mentality to come back from his errors, and I think we're really unjustly sort of, people piling on him a bit. And so for him to get that contract at that time, it kind of makes me think of as well when Arteta was in that bad period and we gave him his contract renewal. It just shows a lot of faith in the player. And I think that can be huge for him because he's definitely someone who plays with his full passion for the club and, all his kind of emotions out there. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing 5 more years of Gabriel.
Yeah, I think as well the example of Fulham where he gave the ball away to Mitrovic and Mitrovic scored, and then that leveled it at 1-1, and then Gabriel scored the winner. Just moments later, he does. If he makes a mistake, which he does, and even though I said he's one of the most experienced players in the team, which he is because we have a young team, 24 for a centre back is still young, got a lot of learning to do, and so mistakes are going to happen. The frustration for me is that I think that the mistakes get too focused on, and it overshadows kind of the really good, excellent things that he does. And what I'd like to say is that to people, it's not about stopping you from criticizing or highlighting mistakes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if we can highlight mistakes, but don't ignore all of the great things that he does, because I think the balance that he brings to the team with Saliba in particular, those two together, is really beneficial for the side. And I'll tell you what, good luck finding another left-sided centre-back that's going to give you as good of a performance as Gabriel does. So, yeah, I think good news for the club all round. Let's get some quick reactions from the chat box. Paul says, Gabriel is elite. Well, happy for him. Great business by Arsenal. Javier says, Gabriel doesn't deserve the criticism. Even Van Dijk makes boneless mistakes as well. Gabriel has been solid. And my reaction is saying, needed a new contract. Simple as that. It is just really good news, and it's good to see that people as well are seeing it as good news. Rael says, hi Tom, is there a FFP rule against the amount of top level Gabriels one club can have? We must buy them all. Well, we've signed Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Compressor, like they're all here. So it's fantastic stuff to see. And we got William Gabriel Saliba as well. Remember, his middle name is Gabriel. So we literally have all the Gabriels in the world joining Arsenal. I wonder who will be next. Well, who's next for Arsenal is Southampton on Sunday. An interesting game because, of course, we lost this fixture last year. Chris, why did we lose that game? And secondly, how far do you think we've come since then?
I think we lost it because we lost our heads and because we didn't have that experience in our locker. And I think what you've seen, the last few games of last season, I think, have left a legacy. And that legacy is around playing together, coming together, and knowing that we have to work harder. And I think this year we've seen, a step up in a couple of the players, but the players that were here last year, they're all working harder. They've all they're mentally stronger. I think there was a kick in the teeth for them not making Champions League. And I think, and sometimes you've got to take a kick, you've got to take a kick in to learn, to move the step forward. And that's part of the change of the culture of the club in terms of bringing it back to being the Arsenal. And I think, look, we've won our last 3 games on 1-0 to the Arsenal, right? George Graham, right? You were there on Thursday night. That was a proper George Graham experience. Yeah. It could have been
as
the
was
manager.
Leeds as well. To be fair,
yeah. I didn't see the Leeds game live, so I it's more difficult for me to talk about it. But it's like, man, come on, that's a proper blood and guts that you want. That's what wins you titles. That's what wins you competitions. Not the winning 7-0 and then losing next week to Southampton. Not that. It's that consistency. And it's the same as if you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym for 4 hours, 3 times, once every month. You're going to do nothing. If you go half an hour for every day for 6 days a week, you're going to make real progress. And we're much more around consistency level. And I think, and I think the team have bought into what we're doing. And I think that gives us this opportunity. And I don't think we're sitting here going, oh, my God, we're going to St. Mary's. This is going to be awful, right? We're sitting there going, well, look, come on. They've lost their last couple of games. They haven't won a single game by more than a goal. In fact, there's only 2 games that they've been 1 goal either way. They're not really very exciting. And they played Maitland-Niles in the middle of midfield in the last game. So it's like, and they're probably their second best player has just gone out on long-term injured. So, it's Ward-Prowse versus Arsenal. So I don't think we should go into this particularly worried.
Fair enough. I'm going to clip that if we get battered. Just letting you know. I'm just going to let you know that's definitely happening. But yeah, look, I think Maitland-Niles is an interesting talking point as well. We went there on loan. He's not particularly played. I think that kind of highlights what kind of player, not what kind of player, but just sort of where he's at and where he's ended up at, unfortunately, because of potentially things that have gone wrong in the past. Dan, one of the more tactical kind of interesting points about this game is that Southampton typically play with a 4-4-2. We haven't really gone up against too many teams playing 4-4-2. How do you think this is going to impact on the way in which Arsenal approach things? Do you think there will be any change at all? Do you think it'll be more beneficial for Arsenal to play against a system with 2 strikers, with less midfielders in the middle? Or actually, could it be something that, I don't know, is a bit of our kryptonite, if you like?
Nah. Straight
I built all that up just for that. What was that about?
No, generally, I think we're going to go at it exactly the same way. We haven't changed our style for anything so far, which has been pleasing. Whether we've been behind, whether we've been, going at them, it's been the same. And I think that is the reward in itself, is that he's found something that works. And now he's got the players in the positions he needs them. We just got to go out Southampton as if they are Southampton. It's a game. We're going to deal with them. Like, if the boys are on it from the beginning, like they have been, I'm not being funny. The first 5 minutes of games have been electrifying recently. Like the way they're coming out the blocks, attacking. Usually we'd sit off and let people attack us for a little bit, take a bit of pressure last season. Now we're coming out as if like we're going to win this game no matter what happens. And even if we do concede, straight away fans are on them. Players, you can see they're rallying behind each other. No one's dropping their head. And they're on it. So, yeah, Southampton was a bad game last season. Went there with probably not the best attitude in terms of believing. But you can see that they're going into this game ready for it. So I'm looking forward to having a nice weekend off and chilling watching this one, because it's so deserved right now.
Absolutely. Have you got a cat or something in the background?
Yeah, he's doing the most over there. I did tell my daughter to look after
what
him.
What is that
noise? You'd think I didn't feed him, innit?
He's like, no, I disagree vehemently with what this guy's saying about Arsenal.
He's a Spurs fan. That's why he's out there. Oh, Lord. Sorry, I didn't realise you could hear it. I know it's loud. I was thinking, oh, please don't. Oh, my God.
It's fine. He's clearly a massive Saints fan. French, talking more regarding kind of this Southampton team. Ralph Hasenhüttl's been there a while now. They don't necessarily look like they're progressing. They pick up points. They beat Bournemouth, which was a big win the other day. But they never look like they're going somewhere. And before, do you remember the Southampton era where every player they had was great and then went off to Liverpool? Like, right. they don't look like they're the team. And I think they actually, other than us, now have the youngest team in the league, maybe even younger than ours now. What do you see in Southampton at the moment? And do you see them as someone still that can take a scalp against us?
They're not a good team. They are where they deserve to be. Like, if you look at kind of their underlying metrics, kind of where they sit.
Dan's cat's coming for you, I'm telling you, after saying that.
Yeah, no. I thought he was like an Avery or something. I thought it was birds. I didn't realize it was a cat. Yeah.
It's a kitten, bro. He's about 9 weeks at the moment. So he's
okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. See, when I think of the last season, the game that we lost against them in April, I feel like the way we played, like we created a lot of chances against them, like a lot of chances, some really clear-cut chances. I think they had Forster in goal, who had like an amazing game, as I remember.
He always does.
Well, there you go, right? And at the moment, they've got a guy, I think he's called like Benzunu or something. Don't rate him.
Yeah.
I've seen him make a lot of mistakes trying to play out from the back. I think we'll get joy out of pressing him and their back line. Like you say, they're very young, so they kind of share that age thing with us. And I think the other third youngest team is Leeds. And that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of respite, is thinking how Leeds were, how kind of energetic they were able to be over 90 minutes. That's the only thing that I'm thinking, some of that youthful energy. But obviously, they played a game midweek as well. You know, they didn't have like a bunch of time off or anything to sort of prepare for us. And so I think, I think we should be quite confident in going there. Like I said, last season, I think it was a scrappy goal that they scored against us. We had a bunch of chances, and they've not been good this season. They kind of are where they deserve to be. I think we're going to get a lot of joy, kind of, I think particularly down our left side. They've been conceding a huge amount of chances down that left and in those kind of left half spaces. I think in the match against City when they lost 4-0, I think every goal was either came from the left or started on that left and kind of was crossed to the back post, I think, at one point. But so I can see our players up there just kind of getting a lot of joy. I'm thinking Xhaka, if, depending who the left back is, if Tierney's attacking, then I could see him getting a lot of joy. And I think, and Martinelli as well. I think that whole kind of left attacking side will be where we create a lot of chances. So I'm looking forward to it. I expect us to. I don't think it's going to ever be easy necessarily. I mean, that Brentford game felt easy, but I don't expect us to be able to pull that off every time, especially when we're this congested. And I think that, like I said, that youthful energy they're going to have might make it a bit tougher. But I do expect us to dominate them and win fairly comfortably.
Well, we're going to get on to predictions shortly. What we're going to do first, though, is we're going to go through our lineups. I think we start with Chris's, if I can just share my screen with you guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Chris, now, spoiler alert, 3 of the 4 of us have all picked the same team, which, to be honest, isn't very surprising, considering the fact that, I think we all know what the strongest 11 is. The key point, though, I think, for this game, as French alluded to a second ago, Chris, is the left-back position. You've gone with Tierney, or not only have you gone with Tierney, you've also picked him as your 5-star predicted player. So talk us through that choice over Tomiyasu and why you think he's going to stand out.
So, French, thank you. Perfect lineup, mate. Absolutely agree with everything that you said, and that's why Tierney's there, right? I watched him play in slightly differently during the week, and he was starting to play more like Zinchenko. And there were times when Gabriel was telling him to get back into his positioning thing. So I think what you're seeing with him is you're seeing this change as he learns from playing with Zinchenko, as he adds to his game. And I think he's such a solid player. We're playing a proper English type team. Right, you want a proper English type left side, and I think the strength of Martinelli, Xhaka, the 3 of them, I think will overpower. I would have played Zinchenko, I think, if he'd have been fit, but I just don't think he's ready. And why would we rush him back? Because I don't think we need to. There's no point in playing Tomiyasu there. Like Tomiyasu, right? I love when Tomiyasu plays there against certain players. That the game against Salah, right, was fabulous. He put him in his pocket, and it was almost as if he wasn't there. And he got when they subbed him off, right? He goes and Tomiyasu goes and plays on the other side, and he puts Gakpo in his pocket, right? Perfect. And you play him on the left when there is something that you think that they'll exploit a weakness in Tierney. These guys haven't got it, so that's why for me it is. And I think in 100 games for the club, right, massive milestone. I think he's due one, and I think this is an opportunity. And as soon as I heard Kyle Walker-Peters or whatever his name is wasn't playing, then I made him my man, because I'm sitting there looking like, well, there could be 4 or 5 of them. And it's like, no, come on, Kieran, go for it, son. You know, Tesco Tierney, we need you to step up.
No, fair enough, mate. I think it's a great point about what Tierney can do on that left-hand side. It's unsurprising, therefore, to see that, you know, Dan, you've gone for the same. But you still think that Gabriel Jesus will be kind of the standout in this. To be fair, what I haven't done is I haven't actually read through people's lineups. People that are listening on audio platforms have been receiving a couple of messages saying that I need to read out the teams of what people say because they can't see them. So for the benefit, Chris did go for Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Partey, Odegaard, Xhaka, Saka, Jesus and Martinelli, and I can tell you that Dan has gone for the exact same team. So talk us through your selection and why you think Jesus will stand out in this one.
All right, team's picking itself at the moment, isn't it? Like, you know, we're winning with the same team, so why change it unless there's an injury or someone's fatigued? Like Saka, for me, is probably the only person coming off the back of that Thursday night game that could potentially not start if he's kicking the back of the leg proves troublesome. But then Eddie will probably come in, go to the right wing, you know. But for me, it's time for him to get one now. Like the other night, I'm not being funny, I was on the edge of my sofa watching him. And then when he did that mazy run down the right and cut inside, I literally jumped up thinking, yes, this is the point. It's going to hit the ribbon roof of the net. Yeah. And he just mishit it. And he's due one. He's due a couple, actually, to be fair. And I think Southampton are going to have to watch him. It plays into his hand, you know, the way he presses against people, he makes space for himself. And if they come after him, it just leaves the gaps open for everyone else to exploit. So I see him having a good game. I'm hoping he hits 2 or 3 in the game just to get him rolling again. Like, but he's already got, was it 4 or 5 already so far?
5 goals. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it's 5 goals. Yeah,
I'm not being funny. I think Laka didn't even get that the whole season last season. And
no, we got 4.
How many of them were from open play? Like,
yeah,
you know. So going forward, I think he's going to have a great game. But then again, it could have another Xhaka boom time. You know, it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's got 5 goals and 5 assists as well. It's key to say that as well. He has 10 goal contributions across all season in 13 games so far, which he's on for a very. I mean, if he keeps that up, you're on for 30 goal contributions across the season. I mean, potentially more. So that's a really good return from what we've seen so far. But I agree. I think he does need a goal. I think that he's due one, as you say, and it'll be great to see him score. I think Southampton are a team that you can, get some joy from, and he's going to need the players around him to provide him with that. Speaking of players that will be providing him with service, the only change that we've got from all of our teams is from French, who has gone for Fabio Vieira to play instead of Martin Odegaard, which I'm very interested to hear your thoughts as to why, in addition to the rest of your side. So just before you do, French has gone for Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Xhaka, Vieira, Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. Talk us through it, mate.
So the reason I went for that, first of all, you said desired, not who I think will play. So I do think
it is. Yeah,
I think Odegaard probably will start just for the consistency of the thing. But the reasoning for it is, 2 things. I remember Arteta mentioning that Odegaard hadn't felt well over the week, and so he was feeling better before the game, obviously, which is why he got some minutes. But that, and also I just want to see Vieira get more minutes, kind of starting in the Premier League. I think he's a real threat. He gets into fantastic positions for goal scoring and for kind of just clipping that ball in from outside the box. So yeah, I want to see him get more minutes, and I think this is a kind of game where I do think we're going to have a lot of the ball. We're going to create chances, and there's a chance that Southampton, respecting our game, might, if they don't, well, either way, if they come and attack us, we'll have space, and if they sit back, we're going to want someone coming from deep in midfield, kind of being able to take shots from outside the box and that sort of thing. So that's why I went for Vieira over Odegaard. And then in terms of the why I went for Martinelli as the kind of standout. Just backing up what I said earlier in terms of, I think the left-hand side is where we're going to really shine. Obviously, Kyle Walker-Peters has a knock. I'm not sure if he's completely ruled out, but even if he does play, he's been ropey for a lot of this season. He's not really been performing to his usual standards. Again, like I say, a lot of the chances they've been getting is people getting the better of him on that left-hand side. So I think Martinelli gonna shine, but again, you could easily see. I completely agree with what Dan was saying about Jesus. I definitely think he's overdue a goal. I think that's he had a bit of a shaky game against Leeds, and I think that's partially why you saw he had the bit between his teeth there against PSV, and he was just doing the most. He's doing amazing stuff. So I reckon he's going to be hungry. He's going to want a goal. And I agree with Chris as well about Tierney, because like I said, I mentioned him, and I do think he's going to be getting up there quite a bit. And yeah, he's definitely due one as well. He's been taking some good shots. He's been taking up some good positions, and yeah, I could see this one. So I think between those three and Xhaka, I think we're going to be doing a lot of damage from there. Now watch is going to be Saka and Vieira scoring them all.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see, mate. I have returned to type with Ødegaard with my 11. It's exactly the same as Dan and Chris's team. For me, Bukayo Saka, if he's fit, which we're told he is, it was just a knock. It did look a little bit worrying at the time, I'll be very honest. There was a really horrible point where the physio was kind of working his knee, and I was like, oh, God, please don't say anything's gone wrong there. It seems he's fine. Arteta talked ahead of the game today, and all information is claiming that he's fine unless they are keeping things quiet. What I have to say, and this is just a bugbear as a journalist, and it's not going to affect you guys as fans at all, I can't stand how coy he is with team news. I can't stand it. It's so frustrating. You know, I sit down, get ready for the press conference. I'm like, right, give me something, Mick. Come on, give me something. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I know that's good, and it's mind games and all that. It's just so frustrating. Like, I just sat there laughing at the press conference and certain things that were being said. Like, even like on the Ronaldo thing he was asked about. So I don't comment about other clubs. If he's asked about transfers, I only talk about our players. It's like, come on, Mick, you got to give us a line somewhere, mate. But no, nothing was coming from him during that presser. But he did say that Saka seems fine, and he was fine today, and that Zinchenko could also be looking to return as well. They actually made a bit of a joke about always being in contention because he doesn't want to reveal whether or not he's going to be available. You can watch that press conference over on the Arsenal Way if you would like to. But yeah, I think Saka, if he's fit, which we're expected to be, is just finding kind of this momentum in his game now. I think, as I said, I think it was earlier in the season, give this guy a goal or two and he will explode. Like, he just needs that little boost of confidence. The finish he got against Leeds was fantastic. Being in the right place at the right time, as he was against Man United and against Liverpool, of course, as well, scoring in big games against big teams. And whilst this is a different prospect, I think that Saka's got the ability to just punish players. And the idea of seeing him go up against, is it Perrault, maybe, if he's French, I think, at left back. Perrault, is that better?
Yeah, that'll do.
There you go. He knows that I can't do any better than that. That'll do. But yeah, the left, I just think he's got absolutely going to wreck this guy. Like, absolutely wreck him. So we'll see what ends up happening tomorrow. But we're going to move to predictions and the chat box after a quick word from our sponsor. Hey guys, as the support for the channel grows, so does the opportunities that come forward to support it. And I'm very happy to share that our new partnership with NordVPN is one that I feel is going to be very beneficial to you as well as it is to the channel. I used NordVPN actually whilst I was away with my other half on our honeymoon, and you, whilst back at home, are enjoying the honeymoon series. Now, I thought I'd timed that holiday perfectly to avoid any missed opportunities to watch Arsenal. That didn't happen because, unfortunately, Arsenal played Brentford. Now, my usual broadcasting app didn't work whilst I was out, and so what did? I used NordVPN, changed my geolocation, hit over to the UK, and despite sitting and sipping a nice cocktail, I was able to enjoy the Arsenal game without any worries of security. And you can do that too with NordVPN, who have very kindly sponsored the channel for the next couple of weeks. I'm very excited to share this deal with you because you can now surf the net and know that you're secure and safe with what you're doing. You can get all the latest details and information in the description, but you can grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/Gooner to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan and 4 months free. It's completely risk-free too, because if you don't like it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Who can say any fairer than that? Thank you for listening, and make sure you get involved with our latest sponsor. Lovely stuff. I'll tell you what, looking at my face doing that gets so annoying. I'm going to have to change it. I'm going to have to redo one for next week because I just can't watch my face doing it. I might even have to start doing it live because it's the reason why I pre-recorded it was because I'm like, I just don't have the confidence to say the things that I need to say. So I feel like if I get it written down and I read it, it'll be fine. But now I'm looking back at it going, I could do that a lot better. Like, I could definitely do it a lot better. So maybe we'll change some things. But what I will say is that it's sponsorships like that. It's the support from the membership that allows us to upgrade the content and upgrade the infrastructure like the microphone, etc. So a massive thank you to NordVPN. And of course, you guys joining us every single day to support the channel as well, because it really does help improve things here. Let's go to predictions then. Chris, scoreline and scorers, please.
3-0. Jesus is going to get a brace, and I think Tierney will get one.
Lovely stuff. Dan.
I'm going to go out 3-0. 3-0. I think Gabby's going to get 2. Jesus. And I think I was just thinking, oh my God, there's too many of them. And I reckon Martinelli will get 1 as well.
Lovely job. French.
I was going to say 3-0 as well, but I'll go 4-0. Why not?
That's the right way to go, like when someone takes it, yeah.
I'm doubling down 4-0. I reckon Saka, Martinelli, and Xhaka probably pop up because I've taken out my FBL, so naturally he'll get a goal. And then Gabriel, new signing, big Gabby, market, header.
Lovely job. Brilliant stuff. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Rant is going for a 1-0 with a Gabriel Magalhaes goal, getting it. MIR Reaction has 5 away games, 4 clean sheets. Arsenal winning by goals 3-0. King's going for a 3-0 Arsenal win as well. Saka, and a Gabriel header. But which one, King? Which one? That's the question we're all asking. Let's go to Nevin, who says 3-1 Arsenal, front 3 all to score. We've got Zeus, who says 3-0. Jesus, Saka, and Martinelli with the goals. Harvey's going for a 4-0 Arsenal win. Mohammed says, hi, Tom. I want to participate with you always. Where's the link? Thanks. Well, what I tell you is if you want to join in with these preview shows, click the link down in the description to join our membership scheme, and that's how our members jump on to these preview shows. So if you're interested in coming on, that's how you get it done. James Bond says 4-1 to the Arsenal. A wee Scotch says 4-0 Arsenal. Gary Griffin's going for a 2-0 or a 2-0. I don't really know what he means by that one. Wilson says, my prediction is Southampton 1, Arsenal 3. And Josh says 4-1 to the mighty Arsenal. Revenge is sweet. I'll be throwing up some more of your predictions as we round off the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here with those notifications turned on so you never miss a show. Chris, thank you so much for your time, my friends. Tell people where they can find you and what you're going to be up to.
Yep, you can find me obviously on the North Bank, having a beer an hour before the game outside 103 on the concourse. Other than that, you just find me in the Discord server, sending old man memes and doing dad jokes, basically.
We appreciate the dad jokes. Trust me, if you're in my close circle of friends, they'll tell you I love a dad joke. It's just non-stop dad jokes. I annoy the in-law family WhatsApp group with dad jokes all day long. Because it's funny. It's funny. A genuine comedian, French. Thank you so much for coming on. How is the show's doing? Have you done many recently with your masters going on?
Yeah, it's been a bit busy difficult getting out to them. But I did one in Cheltenham last night, which I agreed to before I realized how far away it was. And I'm riding there on my little 125, can't go on motorways. So it's just on the A roads, in the mist.
You can't go on motorways? What?
Because I haven't got the proper license. I've just got the CBT,
Oh, right. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's the old deer's lacking a bit, so you don't really want to take her on a motorway, So that was a fun ride. But yeah, no, the comedy's been going great. I was up in Edinburgh over the summer, which was amazing. So I've been enjoying that.
Oh, nice. Was that the Fringe?
Yeah, the Fringe.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. I've heard that's really good. As one of kind of the things you have to do in your life is go to the Edinburgh Fringe. Like people say, go visit the Taj Mahal or go to these wonders of the world. No, go to the Edinburgh Fringe and you won't regret it. Apparently, it's amazing. So yeah, that's awesome. But tell people they can find you, mate.
French Gooner 23 on Twitter, and hopefully a bit more on Gooner Talk, man. Now I finished the Masters, I'm back. So thanks for having me back, man.
No, pleasure as always. Good to have you back, my friends. And lastly, Dan, thank you so much for your time, and obviously the cat as well for featuring in the video. Always appreciated. I won't wish the cat good luck for tomorrow, being a Saints fan, of course. But thank you for your time, and tell people where they can find you, mate, and what you're going to be up to. That
cat's going back to Southampton tomorrow. So he's going. Yeah, no, I've recently joined Twitter, so alpha_m_wolf. I only do real sort of Arsenal content at the moment until I get my gaming stuff up, but I'll be on there occasionally. but I am more heavy in the Discord, pushing the newbies to get on and you know, trying to get everyone involved because it's such a good thing to be part of.
No, I appreciate it, mate. Honestly, there's a lot of members are nervous. They're just like happy little typing in there, you know, little keyboard warrior members. Come on, you need to get onto the channel and start getting involved in some of our previous shows. It's great when we have the members on. It's genuinely great, and I love seeing and speaking to new faces, and then people at the games as well. Meeting people at the grounds, it's great. I've met so many more of you now, and it's amazing to do that. I had a guy come up to me when I was walking into the media entrance yesterday. This guy come over from Australia and just walks up to me and goes, I watch the show every day. Like, obviously not every morning because he's in Australia, so it's a perfect time, 8 a.m. But yeah, it's great stuff like that. So thank you ever so much for all the support and the continued support of the channel. Massive love to French and Dan and Chris. Show them some love in the chat box and the comment section as well. Really appreciate their time in making the show what it is. I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to bring you all the latest Arsenal news, more reaction to Gabriel's renewal and build up to that Southampton game. See you soon, guys. Have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, up the Arsenal.